In the silent darkness beyond Neptune's orbit, a faint metallic glimmer moves across the void. It's 3I Atlas, an interstellar visitor whose path, until recently, was stable and predictable. But a few weeks ago, that stability shattered. NASA's Deep Space Network detected a minute, then accelerating deviation, something impossible under known physics. A red alert spread quietly through mission control rooms. Telemetry feeds flickered, recalibrations looped endlessly, and suddenly, a simple trajectory became a mystery big enough to shake the framework of cosmic dynamics. What force could bend the path of an object traveling freely through interstellar space? Gravity from a nearby planet? To me, the vectors didn't match. A collision? None recorded. Radiation pressure? Not strong enough. So what exactly is pushing 3I Atlas off its predicted course? Scientists across the globe began to compare data. Infrared readings from Chile, radar echoes from Goldstone, optical frames from Hubble, all showing the same disturbing curve. It was as if the object had fired invisible thrusters or been nudged by an unseen hand. For NASA, this wasn't just a curiosity, it was an alarm, a signal that something out there had changed the script of motion itself. The camera glides past the orbit diagrams glowing on digital walls. Numbers float in holographic grids, tiny red arcs illustrating the shift, 0.0002 degrees per hour. Increasing, small but impossible to ignore. As the data streamed in, astrophysicists revisited the original discovery, I Atlas, the third officially confirmed interstellar object after Oumuamua and 2I Borisov, was first spotted as a faint comet-like trace in early 2020. It carried a blue-white coma, faintly metallic with spectra hinting at nickel-iron compounds unusual for typical comets. But now, in 2025, it had returned to the edge of detectability, and with it, a new enigma. The object's composition emitted a spectral line no one had catalogued before, a metal signature unlike anything produced by natural alloy formation. At first, it seemed like noise, an error from overlapping data sets, yet every independent observatory saw the same signal, an oscillating pattern repeating every 42 seconds. And strangely, it synchronized with fluctuations in the trajectory change. Could it be coincidence? Or was the material itself reacting, like engineered metal responding to external control? Inside NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, simulation teams constructed models. Every variable, solar wind, gravitational resonance, even quantum dust drag, all was tested. None produced the observed acceleration curve. Then came the more controversial possibility: internal propulsion. If 3I Atlas wasn't just a rock, but a probe, a relic from another civilization, its movement made sense, but such claims demand evidence. So teams re-examined the radar, reflections. The echoes revealed geometric consistency, flat planes reflecting at right angles, edges too precise for natural fracture. Still, data can mislead, so NASA called for redundancy. The European Space Agency, JAXA, and China's CNSA all pointed their instruments at the target. Each confirmed the deviation. Each saw the metallic flicker, and each quietly elevated the internal alert level. Publicly, the agencies stayed silent. Official statements spoke of normal course adjustments due to non-gravitational effects. Behind the scenes, however, encrypted communications multiplied. Anomalous trajectory event. Potential artificial behavior. Request for extended observation window. By early October, the deviation had reached 7.4 million kilometers off the original projection, a staggering drift for something unpowered. Worse, the curve wasn't random. It pointed inward toward the sun and then, briefly, toward Earth's orbital plane. Every previous interstellar object had exited the solar system without turning back. Atlas seemed to hesitate, to loop as if analyzing, deciding, redirecting. To some, it resembled a form of reconnaissance. To others, a cosmic accident magnified by speculation. But data is merciless. It doesn't believe in coincidence. Visuals of plasma jets, cosmic storms, deep space sensors blinking red. Voice continues, inside Mission Command. An automated system issued the code Red Alert Level 2, Unverified Object Behavior. That classification had appeared only twice before, during the discovery of Oumuamua, and once during a classified asteroid event in 2023. Within hours, NASA convened an emergency panel. The question, what if 3I Atlas isn't changing its path randomly, but reacting to observation? A test followed. The Goldstone radar beamed a high-frequency pulse at the object, a simple echo experiment. Seconds later, the return signal came not as expected static but modulated, slightly delayed, as if encoded. No pattern was recognizable, but the anomaly was undeniable. A non-natural reflection signature. One physicist whispered, "It's pinging us back." Could an ancient probe have awakened after centuries of silence? Could interstellar drift objects be remnants of exploratory machines that still respond to detection? Astrobiology forums reignited. Old theories about Bracewell probes, self-replicating robotic emissaries, resurfaced. Atlas fit the description disturbingly well. Compact, metallic self-correcting orbit, and now, responsive. NASA's official public update avoided the topic. They simply announced, trajectory variance under evaluation. Yet, internally, documents leaked describing a rotational realignment consistent with guidance correction. In plain language, it turned itself. If it was truly mechanical, it would mean the first confirmed contact with non-terrestrial technology, not through message, but through motion. Still, skepticism ruled. Every extraordinary claim needs extraordinary evidence, so analysis turned microscopic. Spectrographs from the James Webb Space Telescope captured faint emission lines matching alloys used in high-temperature fabrication, but with isotope ratios impossible to replicate naturally. Iron 56 and nickel 60 existed, but with microscopic lattice distortions suggesting designed stress patterns. That was enough to reignite debate on every scientific board on Earth. The media hadn't caught on yet, not fully, a few. Observant astronomers mentioned non-gravitational acceleration, but the public headline wave had not begun. In the labs, scientists whispered, what happens if the curve continues? If it stabilizes into an Earth intercept trajectory? By the second week of observation, its vector pointed within 0.3 degrees of Earth's orbital path, a near miss by cosmic standards. The probability of direct collision remained practically zero. But perception is everything. A single image, a single graph leaked, and social media erupted. NASA hides alien probe. 3I Atlas changes course toward Earth. Artificial intelligence from another star activates. Speculation outpaced reality, as it always does. But this time, even NASA couldn't dismiss everything as rumor. In Houston, engineers reviewed the signal logs. They noticed a subtle pattern. Whenever radar pulses were sent, a secondary echo returned 0.12 seconds later from a slightly different angle, as if the object had adjusted itself mid-ping. That behavior had never been recorded from natural bodies. Teams proposed a follow-up probe, a small ion engine craft launched from Earth orbit, designed to intercept the object within 5 years. Funding discussions began overnight. The codename, Project EchoPath. Meanwhile, across independent observatories, astronomers tracked a new emission, microwave bursts every 19 minutes. These matched the earlier 42-second pulse but occurred on a larger scale, consistent with energy storage and release cycles. Whatever powered 3I Atlas, it wasn't decaying, it was waking up by now. The story had gone global. News outlets demanded transparency. NASA, caught between caution and public pressure, prepared a statement. In the following press conference, the spokesperson confirmed minor trajectory variations, but avoided the word anomaly. Still, one reporter asked the question everyone feared: has NASA detected signs of artificial control? The room fell silent. The official reply: no evidence confirms that conclusion. But the phrasing was deliberate. It didn't deny the possibility either. Within minutes, Speculation became a storm. Across data centers, pattern recognition algorithms began scanning the echo sequences for coded information. What they found was subtle, but haunting. Each radar bounce carried harmonic ratios consistent with prime numbers, the universal language of mathematics. Coincidence again? Likely. Prime sequences rarely appear in random reflections. Suddenly, Atlas wasn't just an object changing its path. It was communicating, in motion, in signal, in rhythm. If that's true, then the cosmos just spoke, and we nearly missed it. Yet before the message could be deciphered, the emissions stopped. Silence, no more pings, no more trajectory drift. It froze, as if waiting. The pause brought both relief and unease. Had it powered down? Had it finished observing? Or was it, in its own way, listening? NASA reclassified the mission as passive monitoring, but inside the private memos, a new phrase appeared: potential intelligence threshold reached, meaning, in bureaucratic translation, we might not be alone. The world kept spinning. But for those who saw the data firsthand, reality had already shifted. We were no longer just observers of the universe. We had become part of someone else's observation.
For nearly 2 weeks, 3I Atlas drifted in silence. Astronomers assumed the anomaly had ended. But on the morning of October 26th, the same day NASA downgraded the internal alert, the signal returned. Only this time, it was stronger. The metallic pulse doubled in amplitude, vibrating through every radio dish from Madrid to Canberra. Its rhythm no longer repeated every 42 seconds. Now it pulsed at 37, then 41, then prime again, like an adaptive code changing keys mid-message. The algorithm teams watched their monitors fill with cascading harmonics. Whatever it is, one engineer muttered, it just learned we're listening. Telemetry graphs turned crimson across NASA's live tracking network. Inside the command room, caffeine-fueled analysts fought to stabilize the feed. The object had shifted again, not by drift, but by design. A precise 3-degree yaw, 0.6 millimeters per second acceleration. Barely measurable, but in space, precision means intent. The direction of that change pointed toward a sector above the ecliptic plane, a region containing nothing of mass significance. No planets, no debris, only interstellar magnetic current lines, flowing between the heliosphere and the local bubble. Yet the curve of motion aligned perfectly with those lines. It wasn't random, it was following the field itself, as if reading a map we had never seen. In the magnetosphere lab at Goddard, researchers ran simulations using solar wind data. They discovered the object's spin axis now matched the sun's magnetic polarity, not its gravity well. In simpler words, 3I Atlas was navigating electromagnetically, like a compass that had found a new north. If that was intentional, it meant guidance, a decision made somewhere within that metallic shell. James Webb focused again. This time, spectroscopy revealed the alloy's surface had rearranged at a molecular level, crystalline. Grids now shimmered with superconductive behavior, perfect energy conduction at temperatures impossible for natural metal. The object had re-engineered itself. Mid-flight, scientists coined a phrase, phase adaptive metallurgy, something we could only dream of. Every 13 hours, the surface shifted slightly, as if absorbing solar particles and realigning its atomic lattice. That process released bursts of infrared energy, the same bursts that kept altering its path. NASA realized it wasn't being pushed by outside forces. It was pushing itself. Public interest exploded. Live trackers crashed under demand. Every space enthusiast forum turned into a theory war zone. Some claimed it was a weapon, others a beacon. A few suggested it was an ancient archive ship, drifting until someone found it. Inside NASA, a classified meeting took place between agency heads and the U.S. Defense Space Command. The core question was no longer, what is it? But what if it responds? Protocols for radio contact were reviewed. A message was drafted but never sent. Too many unknowns. One scientist wrote in her log, if it's observing us, perhaps silence is the only safe language. Days later, the object executed a gentle arc toward Earth's orbital track. Not a collision course, but close enough to rattle confidence. Every model showed a pass within 3 million kilometers, inside the range of our lunar distance. The Planetary Defense Network issued its own Level 1 alert. Civilian telescopes could now spot It has a shimmering dot with a metallic tail reflecting sunlight for the first time. Human eyes saw what machines had only recorded, and it was beautiful. A smooth silver core spinning with precision, glinting like liquid mirror, not chaotic, not random, but calculated. News networks went wild. Headlines screamed, "Alien technology near Earth." But in the scientific community, silence grew deeper. They were watching something rewrite the laws of inertia. At exactly 0247 UTC, as the object reached perigee, a signal burst through the deep space network, a narrowband transmission lasting 7 seconds. It wasn't random noise. It was structured, encoded across multiple frequencies, like a compressed file. The pattern contained sequences matching the hydrogen line, a universal cosmic constant used for communication. When decoded into a spectrogram, the message displayed a simple shape, a spiral curve leading to a dot. The mathematician who first saw it whispered, "That's a trajectory diagram." But not ours. Over the next 48 hours, data scientists fed the signal through AI pattern analyzers. The output translated to 3 core values: frequency, distance, and orientation. Together they mapped a point beyond the solar system in the direction of Lyra, the same region where the "wow" signal was once recorded in 1977. Coincidence or intention? For NASA, it felt like coordinates. Was 3i Atlas sending a message home, or inviting us to look there? The scientific community split in half. Skeptics argued that electronic interference from Earth's own satellites could mimic the signal. Others pointed out that the frequency band was shielded, impossible for terrestrial sources to interfere. At conferences, tempers flared. One professor stood and said, "If this is artificial, then someone just rang our doorbell." Amid the chaos, 3i Atlas performed one final maneuver, a slow rotation aligning its axis exactly with Earth's magnetic field. Sensors on satellites briefly spiked as if an electromagnetic wave brushed through the upper atmosphere. Then once again, silence for months. Scientists tried to decode the meaning of that alignment. Some believed it was simply a gesture of acknowledgement, an orientation toward the planet that noticed it. Others theorized it was a data dump, a transmission encoded in magnetic fluctuations that we hadn't yet learned how to read. Humanity was left staring at a cosmic mirror. If we are the observers, why does the universe suddenly seem to be observing back? The story of 3i Atlas had moved beyond astronomy. It became a story about perception itself, our hunger for meaning, our fear of silence, our need to believe that we're not alone. Months later, NASA published a quiet technical note: trajectory stabilized. Object exiting inner solar system. No mention of signals, no mention of the red alert. But those who had been there knew. Something had entered our system, interacted and left, just enough to let us know it exists. The object continued outward past Jupiter's shadow, reflecting the sun one last time before vanishing into the black. And in that moment, the scientists watching understood something wordless: that discovery isn't always about proof. Sometimes, it's about the question that refuses to die. As Earth rotates beneath the silent stars, instruments still listen. Every ping, every echo, every flicker of light is a reminder that the universe is far from empty. Atlas may be gone, but its message remains, hidden in our data, etched in our curiosity. Perhaps the real contact was never about them reaching us. Perhaps it was about us learning how to see. The next visitor is already on its way. And this time, we'll be ready to listen, not with fear, but with understanding. This is Cosmic Atlas Hub. Stay curious and keep watching the sky.